In a world full of flashy powers and eccentric characters and supernatural battles, there is one character who stands out not just because of his skills or style, but because of the deep, complex mystery he carries within. Osamu Dazai isn't just a cool character from Bungo Stray Dogs, he is walking contradiction. A man who jokes about suicide, yet holds more compassion than he lets on someone who pretends to be lazy, but is always 10 steps ahead of everyone else. A tragic past hidden behind his smiling face. In this video, we are diving deep, and I mean really deep, into the mind and heart of Dazai. We are going to explore his backstory, his role in the armed detective agency, his relationships, his psychological depth, and the themes he represents throughout the story. This is a full character analysis, and by the end of it, you might see Dazai in a completely new light. To understand Dazai today, we need to go back when he was the part of the Port Mafia. Because before he was not sarcastic bandage up detective we know now, he was one of the most feared, ruthless executive of the underworld. As a young boy, Dazai was introduced to violence, manipulation, and power through Mori Ogai, the cunning doctor who led the Port Mafia. Mori didn't just mentor Dazai, he groomed him, he turned him into a weapon, someone who could analyze, predict, and control outcomes with terrifying precision. Dazai quickly rose through the ranks, but here's the thing, even at the top, he was empty. He questioned the meaning of life constantly. He wasn't searching for power, he was searching for reason to live. And that question, that existential pain, has haunted him ever since. One of the most defining moments of Dazai's past is his relationship with Oda. Oda wasn't like the rest of the mafia. He believed in helping people, in saving lives, and not taking them. Dazai was drawn to that. Oda's kindness, his quiet strength, it shook something inside Dazai. And when Oda died protecting what he believed in, Dazai finally made a decision to leave the port mafia behind and try living life that Oda would be proud of. Fast forward to present, Dazai is now a member of the Armed Detective Agency, an organization that deals with the gifted individuals and supernatural threats. But he doesn't act like a typical hero. Most of the time, he's laughing around, annoying his co-workers, or trying to drag Atsushi into some ridiculous suicide plan. But don't let that fool you. Dazai is always thinking. He plays the fool so convincingly that people often forgot how sharp he is. But behind the state plan jokes and goofy antics is one of the most brilliant tactical minds in the series. He can manipulate enemy plans, predict outcomes, and stay 10 steps ahead of everyone else. And he does it all while pretending to nap. Dazai is the agency's brain. He doesn't just help them win battles, he keeps the entire organization from falling apart. Whether it's dealing with the port mafia, the guild, or the hunting dogs, Dazai is always moving pieces on the chessboard. And most of the times, his enemies don't even know that they are being played. Relationships that shaped him. Dazai's relationships tell us more about who he is than anything else. Let's start with Atsushi. Their dynamic is chaotic, funny, and sometimes even cruel. Dazai constantly pushes Atsushi, insults him, and throws him into dangerous situations. But he is also the one who gives Atsushi purpose. He challenges him to grow, to believe in himself, because he sees something in him that even Atsushi doesn't see. Then there is Kunikida, the idealist, the man of principle and schedules. In many ways, Kunikida is something that Dazai isn't, or at least everything he pretends not to be. Their banter is hilarious, but beneath it, there is a real trust. Dazai relies on Kunikida more than he lets on. And Kunikida, though constantly frustrated, respects Dazai's genius. And we can't forget Chuuya, former partner, eternal rival, and possibly the only person who can match Dazai's energy. Their relationship is a maze full of insults and grudges, but it's also one of the most entertaining and layered bonds in the series. Despite everything, they work their trust in each other. During combat, they are unmatched, and their relationship is very chaotic, it's dramatic, and it's iconic. Now we are getting into the heavy stuff. Taza is a character defined by contrast. On the surface, he is carefree, sarcastic, and sometimes inappropriate. But being it, that is a man who is deeply broken. He's been suicidal for the most of his life, not in the dramatic way, but in the quiet, numb, philosophical sense. He doesn't talk about his pain, he hides it with the jokes, with the distraction, with the layered manipulation, and maybe with a little hope that someone will see past it. Daza's constant search for meaning, his attraction to people with strong beliefs, and his decision to leave the mafia all point to the one thing. He wants to be saved, not by someone else, but by purpose. He wants to believe that life can be worth living, that there's something out there or someone who can make him feel again. He's not just dark for the sake of being edgy. His darkness is real. It's rooted in trauma, delusion, and philosophical despair. But even in that darkness, he reaches out to others, and that's what makes him beautiful. Themes that Dazai represents. Dazai represents a number of powerful themes in Bungo Stray Dogs. The most obvious is the battle between light and darkness, not in the world but inside the self. He's a man caught between the past and the future, between violence and peace, between death and hope. His story is also about transformation. Dazai is a proof that even someone shaped by cruelty can choose a different path. He may still carry scars, but he walks forward anyway, and in doing so, he helps others to do the same. Another major theme is connection. Dazai surrounds himself with people who are struggling, like Atsushi, Akutagawa, Chuuya, and even further in a twisted way. He connects to their pain because he recognizes it, and sometimes, by helping them grow, he finds pieces of himself in it. Let's talk about what Dazai really represents. At his core, Dazai isn't just a character, he's a mirror for every person who's ever laughed through the pain, for everyone who's ever felt too smart for their own peace of mind, for anyone who stood at the edge of own despair and wondered if life had any meaning. But despite all his darkness, Dazai keeps moving. He teaches us something rare in anime, that being broken doesn't mean you're beyond purpose, that even when you don't believe in yourself, you can still be someone who helps others believe, that you can be the most tragic person in the room and still be the one who saves it. He's not just a genius, not just a fighter, not just a former mafia executive or lazy detective. He's a man searching for meaning, for redemption, and for peace. He's deeply flawed, hilariously unpredictable, and probably human. That's what makes him one of the best written characters in anime. He teaches us that no matter how dark your past is, no matter how lost you feel, you can still choose to help others, still choose to walk forward. Daza is not easy to understand. He is not supposed to be. He is messy, contradictory, hilarious, terrifying, and deeply, deeply human. He walks the line between villain and hero, cynic and mentor, chaos and control. And that's what makes him unforgettable. He's proof that character depth doesn't come from backflips and power-ups. It comes from layers, from struggles, from internal wars we might never see but always feel. So the next time someone tells you Daza is just that funny suicidal guy, tell them he is the heart of Bungo Stray Dogs, the man behind the madness and the soul that still dares to care even when he pretends not to. He taught us that no matter how dark your past is, no matter how lost you feel, you can still choose to help others, still choose to walk forward, and maybe even man like Dazai can find a reason to live. Thanks for watching this deep dive into Osamu Dazai. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe for more character breakdown, and remember, even the brightest smile can hide the deepest scar.